In this take, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers versus the New Orleans Pelicans. I want to give you my post-game analysis. And before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. Well, this is definitely a disappointing loss for the Clippers, especially after last night's loss that they had against the Memphis Grizzlies. This is two back-to-back losses for them where they definitely should have won both games. Definitely no excuse for neither loss. I mean, this game right here was just really pathetic. I mean, I think Paul George was 8 for 26, 19 points, I believe. It was just really an awful performance all the way around. I mean, honestly, the Clippers scored 14 points in the third quarter, and then they scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, you can't. In the second half, they combined for 26 points. Not even close, not even 30 points as a team. I mean, that's just unacceptable basketball. That's going to get you beat every night against any team. I mean, honestly, the Pelicans were 2-14, and they just got their third win off of a Clippers team who came off a 7-game winning streak and where they were riding high for the moment. And now it looks like they look like a completely different team. And this is what I said a couple days ago when you listened to my video then. I said you can't win games against NBA teams if you're not going to shoot efficient. The Clippers aren't shooting efficiently. Paul George has been shooting horrific a lot of these games, and maybe not the worst, but I mean, he's been shooting pretty bad some of these games. You know, even some of the games in the winning streak, I mean, he was shooting like, 10 for 29 and 9 for 26, you know what I'm saying? But in the stat sheet, when you look at 30 plus points, you just think automatically, oh, this person had a good game. Yeah, but it's called plus minuses and things like that. And when Paul George has been on the floor, some of these games, I mean, he's been in the negative column. And when you think about it, it doesn't matter whether you have 35 plus points. It matters how you got it. If it took you 30 shots to get 30 points, that's a bad night. If it took you 16 shots to get 30 points, that's a good night. You see what I'm saying? That it's all about the efficiency. And this is why I say they miss Kawhi Leonard so much, because he is very, very efficient and very selective with his shooting. And he makes sure he's effective on both ends on the floor, unlike any other player in the league. So it's like when you get in the stretches of the season where you have to be more efficient because you're going on the road playing against other teams and, playing against teams, even though they're not as good as you are, still, you don't have the energy from the crowd and everything. And this was really just not a good performance, I think Nicholas Batum, I think he was, in double figures. Reggie Jackson didn't play particularly well at all. It just wasn't a good performance overall. You can't lose to the Pelicans. I mean, road game, home game, you got to beat the Pelicans. I mean, there's no reason why. I mean, shout out to them, I'm saying, that they got the victory. But I mean, it's really pathetic that the Clippers found a way to lose this game, because there again, you're playing against a team where you're the better team and you have the best player on the floor, which is Paul George. But you find a way to lose this game, and it's really an embarrassing loss because, like I said, the Pelicans were 2-14 or 12 or something like that, and now they got their third win off the Clippers, a team that a lot of people thought would be ascending this year in the right direction because of the way they played last year in the playoffs, even without Kawhi Leonard. And games like these definitely tell you that that's the reason why the Clippers need Kawhi Leonard back. They need him back a lot more than what people even want to say, because it's like when you look at games like this, there's no way in the world that Paul George shouldn't be able to go out there and put the nail in the coffin on a team like the Pelicans. I mean, the Pelicans are no threat to anybody. I don't see Zion Williamson out there, Brandon Ingram, or, whatever. Yeah, I mean, they got a few decent players over there, but it's not enough to beat the Clippers. The Clippers definitely are the more talented team, and they definitely should have came out with a victory. I'm not going to go too much into, all the stats and all this stuff, man, because it's just really demoralizing to, lose a game 81-94. I mean, it's just really irritating to watch the Clippers, because I said they're such a up and down. I mean, they're the most confusing team in the NBA. I mean, they can beat one of the best teams in the NBA, and then they'll go lay an egg like this. And this is one of the games they had earlier in the season when they lost to Cleveland, like 92-79. Like, how did Cleveland hold you to 79 points? How does this team hold you to 81? How does the Pelicans hold you to 81 points? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, you got way too much talent on that team to be losing, by double digits to the Pelicans, who don't even have Zion Williamson on the floor, and Lonzo Ball is gone, and they really don't even have no sense of direction. I mean, it's just not good basketball. But as I said before, when you're not playing efficient, it's going to come back to bite you. And there again, look at the stat sheet. Paul George, 8 for 26. He puts up numbers, but I mean, he's going to have to be more efficient if they want to be a winning team. That's just the way it is. I mean, and that's the thing. Players like Kawhi Leonard make it look easy, but now you really see how hard it really is to be that efficient every night, going against team after team after team, and everybody's coming at your throat. And see, that's the thing. You have to be that way against every team, and you have to be on attack. And one thing that the Clippers are doing as a team, mainly because the notion that they're a great three-point shooting team, they're living by the three-pointer so much, is hurting their chances of actually taking commanding leads and taking, put the game away against some of these low-seeded teams, because they're just living by the three too much, and they're not being aggressive. And I blame Ty Lue for not getting the guys right, but I also got to look at the guys themselves. They got to want to go out there and do it. Paul George has to be more aggressive. You're 6'7", 6'8". You don't have to keep shooting jumpers. If they're not falling, or if it doesn't look like it's your night, just keep being aggressive, going to the paint. Because, I mean, bare minimum, you can draw fouls, get somebody in foul trouble, put your team in the bonus, and get your, shot going from the free throw line. I mean, it's just something they have to implement, and all the other players are going to have to follow. This is a really bad loss, but I mean, hey, the Clippers got to take it and, keep it in stride. Don't worry about it. Just move on to the next, because you're on a 2-game losing streak, and it's like, wow, you lose to the Pelicans, now you're liable to lose to anybody else in the next week or so on your schedule, even though I think it's the Dallas Mavericks and the Pistons. Well, I think they'll beat the Pistons, but I'm just saying, like, you're playing down to your competition, and it's really making you look bad. But hey, shout out to the Pelicans. Big win for them. I mean, maybe that can boost their season a little bit, give them a little bit of confidence. And as far as the Clippers, bad loss, but I mean, hey, you got to move on to the next. But hey, that's my take on the situation. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And hey, Khaliis out.